Hello ladies and gents, and you already saw the little sneak peek preview of this one with the bell ringing, but this was a very special one. I really enjoyed this. What a privilege, and a massive thank you to the vicar and especially to Daniel for showing me around and sharing a lot of the history of this building with us. This is Memorial Community Church, Plaistow, best known as West Ham Central Mission to most of you. Originally began its life known as the Barking Road Tabernacle, and it didn't begin its life here, but we'll discuss more of that in a minute. This building is grade 2 listed. Amazingly, this entire building only took from 1921 to 1922 to build. The architect was William Hayne, and the cost of construction was £60,000. A lot of people donated, and as we're going to see in the video in the exterior shots, I do really focus on them a lot because the white stones all around the bottom that are engraved, as I found out from Daniel, are actually white terracotta, and many of those stones are engraved with the names of veterans and loved ones and people who wanted to be commemorated. But each stone would have cost a person £50 in those days, which doesn't seem a lot to us, but it was an awful lot of money back then, awful lot of money. This is the building as we see it. It's a lovely one. These will go on as separate pictures, and I took this in pro mode, so you'll be able to zoom in really well on this one when it goes on as an individual picture. But as I say, the church originally began its life in a building that many of us recognise and remember as Pollard's. It's now called Glory House, which is another church. The church was originally founded in 1871 as the Barking Road Tabernacle. The preceding building still exists on the Barking Road, as we can see here, as closer to Canning Town. This was in continuing debt until Robert Rowntree Clifford, from where Rowntree Clifford Close gets its name, took over in 1897, reviving and transforming the church membership and clearing all the debts by 1900. Growth of the church led to the formation of West Ham Central Mission in 1904. This ran alongside the church until its present building in 1922. So this is where it began its life. A few little shots here. Sorry about the sniffling, I've got bad hay fever at the moment. I took all these in pro mode, so they are pretty decent shots. But that's pretty much the history of it. As I say, a lot of people donated, gave £50. The Women's Baptist League, they raised a mile of £half-crowns to go towards this. So how many £half-crowns is in a mile, I have no idea, but I should imagine an awful amount of money back then. Yeah, and these places were not only built to the glory of God, but this church in its name, what it is called now, is Memorial Church. It is a memorial. This church, this entire church, is a memorial to the lost and the brave of the First World War. This is why I found it so very special. And a massive thank you to Linda Stock, who actually told me about these bells inside here. I mean, I have heard bells in the area before, but I didn't know that this had a bell frame and bell organ in it that worked and that I was even allowed to play. So a massive thank you to Linda, whose ancestor is mentioned on one of these bells, along with a friend of mine, a church Rob from Barking. His great uncle Jack, he's mentioned on one of the bells as well. So we get to see both their names, and we also get to see the bells that they're on and hear them played. So onwards for the tour of this one. I hope you're all going to enjoy. And here we are, ladies and gents, Plaistow Central Baptist Church as it was. It's now Memorial Community Church, Plaistow. Now this exterior stuff I'm filming a day or so before the interior, so whether we're going to get into the bell tower with the bells, I do not know. Probably not, because of the health and safety aspect of it. Hopefully we will, but we'll see. If not, there are pictures and things and a list of the names of the men whose lives were lost in the war who are on the bells. So that's one of the reasons I particularly want to see them. I didn't know about those until the other day, and thank you very, very much to one of my lovely page members for telling me about that. So I appreciate that. But yeah, as you can see, it's a really lovely building. Take some pictures today as I go along as well. I rang them up and said, would it be possible to come and take some pictures today, because I've got a free day today. And she said, oh, not today really. She went, tomorrow's about the best time, and the earlier the better, so hopefully we'll get that done. I'll ring her back in a minute and see how early. We're along Barking Road, by the way, Plaistow, London, E13, for anyone who doesn't know the area. And in one of these towers, I'm not quite sure which one, is the bell organ, which is, rather than pulling ropes to ring bells, which pulls on the bells, it's a set of wooden handles. Each handle is connected to a rope, which is connected to a clapper, which is connected to a bell, so you can play it like an organ if you know the notes, kind of thing. We are going to wait for an opportune moment to cross over, which is now, and we'll get our exterior views today. But you see what I mean about the carving, look. Pax Obiscum, Pax Ubiscum, whatever that means, it's Latin. Pax is peace, I think, because you had Pax Romana, which is the peace of Rome, so Pax is peace, I know that much. What? V is usually a U. No, it isn't, it's V-O-B-I-S-C-U-M, Verbiscum, so yeah. Here we are, Plaistow Community Church. There are a lot of foundation stones, yeah. This stone was laid by Mrs. L.G. Angus, June the 16th, 1921. She would have no doubt paid money towards the founding of the church. But you can see, look, the lovely carving, not just on the stuff there. This stone was laid by Dame Clara Butt Rumford, DBE, Dame of the British Empire, June the 16th, 1921. This stone was laid by Reverend and Mrs. R. Roundtree Clifford, June the 16th, 1921. So these are people that would all, of course, put up money for founding this church. And look at the, see what I mean about the detail with the carving. Just in there you've got little Tudor roses and stuff, which are really nice. And these columns. So we shall try tomorrow and see. If not, we'll get in there at one point or other. This stone was laid by Mr. George H. Levy, June the 16th, 1921. And this stone was laid by Reverend J. H. Shakespeare, Master of Arts, Doctor of Divinity, MADD, Secretary, Baptist Union, June the 16th, 1921. Over here you've got, it's like an events thing now. They have a lot of theatre things on there for hire. It's a centre that I assume obviously went with this church at one point. But this stone here, it's got, this stone was laid by Mr. Herbert Marnham, Chairman, Building Committee, June 16th, 1921. I'll get you a side view of the church. Oh, and there's another stone. I'm glad we came round here. This stone was laid by Mr. Arthur Newton, Vice President and Treasurer, London Baptist Association, June the 16th, 1921. Baptist Women's League, in commemoration of the generous effort of the Baptist women throughout the country to raise 1 mile of half-crowns. Wow. And you've got some more names around here. Lots of names, look. West Ham Silvertown, Sister Vera. Loughton Union Church, Reverend J.H. Wicks, BADD. Leytonstone, Philbrook, M.G.D. Batson. Just keeping an eye out on I've got my trolley with me today, so I've got to go and do some shopping. Ilford High Road, Reverend F.H. Smith. Ilford Cranbrook Park, Reverend M. Hughes. Forest Gate, Woodgrange, Reverend T. Powell, BD. Barking Tabernacle, Linton Road, Reverend and J.M. Living Taylor. We've got more here. In loving memory of S.G. Gould of Loughton. In loving memory of J. Wilfred Pewdries of Lee, April the 4th, 1916. FMF, that looks like. In loving memory of Reverend G. Gould, Master of Arts, Doctor of Divinity, Principal. It's got Regent's Park College. In memory of Reverend Robert Speed, Lindsay Road Baptist Church, Sunderland. In an affectionate tribute to Alfred Harris from his sisters. In loving memory of Booth Harris, 1839 to 1912. Mrs. E.A. Smallwood, in memory of her husband, M.D.J. Samuel Wood, Justice of the Peace, Trafford upon Avon. Then you've got Mr. A. Shannon, Adelaide, South Australia, in memory of my mother. It's an interesting one. The other side view is just around this way. I don't know if there's stones around there as well, but we will find out. I don't think they are going to let me into the bell tower. I shouldn't imagine so anyway, but I will ask, of course, when I eventually get into the church. But around this side, whether there's stones or not, I do not know. Yes, there are. I'll have to just do that quickly. This stone was laid by Reverend Walter S. Lord, June the 16th, 1921, in memory of the men of this church and district who fell in the Great War of 1914 to 1918. Greater love hath no man than this. So that's important. Take a picture of that. Put Q back up so we don't get in trouble. In loving memory of W.M., which is William M. Bardsley, killed in action November the 13th, 1916, and his little sister Muriel. This one here, and they are quite worn, in loving memory of John Pulsford Bourne. Oh, that's interesting. I've got Bournes in my family. Fell in France 26th of March 1918, aged, and it's something 3 years by the looks of it, faithful unto death. In loving memory of Richard Corey, JP, which is Justice of the Peace. In loving memory of S. Campbell Corey, DL. In loving memory of Lieutenant Robert Armour Edwards, West Yorkshire Regiment, fell in Flanders July the 14th, 1918. In thy presence is the fullness of joy. In loving memory of R.J. Matthews, of Swansea. In loving memory of Frederick James Poulton, acting captain who fell in action at Gaza, November the 2nd, 1917. And in loving memory of William David Smith. And they go all the way along these. Sorry about the wind. Australia, in commemoration of the generous help received from New Zealand and Australia during the tour in 1921. of Madame Jessie Strathern and Sister Kathleen. Berkshire Association, Reverend C.V. Pipe, President. Monmouthshire Association, Mr. J. Morgan, President. I'll just do a walk along with these ones if you don't mind, because it'll take too long otherwise. Obviously veterans, I always pay particular attention to those that fell in the war. These people will all be associated, of course, with this church and probably going to put up some money for it. You can see a lot of people are commemorated on this one. It doesn't have a churchyard. I'll start when I come along tomorrow to ring the bell, so which I shall do. The lady said it earlier, the earlier the better, so I'm not quite sure how early. We'll get there, we'll sort it out. Even if it's not tomorrow, it'll be another time, won't it? I've managed to get the exterior stuff all done today. It's a 15-minute segment on its own, and look, and these go right on along Longford Salem. And they go right up here, these stones. Just keeping an eye on my trolley, which did fall over. It's very, very windy today in London. There we are, that's that lot covered, and then you get some exterior views side of the church, and we shall come back tomorrow and see. Hopefully. Obviously they're busy today, so it's sort of an as and when kind of thing with the churches, really. Sundays, some of them are alright with it if you go before the service or afterwards for filming photography. Some of them, obviously, because it's a sacred day, they don't want it, which is, you have to understand. Anyway, ladies and gents, that is our exterior views. Oh, Christ. Right. Watch this space. Hopefully we'll get an interior view, obviously, at some point, but bell tower I'm not sure about. Anyway, we shall see. See you another day and for the next part. Morning, ladies and gents, and this was Plaistow Central Baptist Church, and it's Memorial Community Church now. Went up just after the First World War, and you've seen all the names and everything outside. There are lots of the veterans. Wow, what an amazing space. I'll have to come to a service at this one. It's really amazing, isn't it? Really lovely. Look at the gallery up there. Someone said to me that it had a gallery.
I think a good time, especially good service to come to would be the Christmas Carol concert.
Oh, that'd be nice.
We've got an organ player called Lyndon Ford, He's from the Navy.
Oh, right.
Royal Navy organ player.
Oh, I'll come to that then. So I love Christmas anyway.
It sounds amazing.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, brilliant. And we're kindly being taken around by, what's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel. We're kindly being taken around by Daniel today, so I won't film you if you don't want to be filmed. Some people are not comfortable with that. Look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? Right.
And our organ is 100 years old.
The organ is 100 years old.
Its centenary is actually next, and summer 24.
Wow. Yeah, because I was reading about the bells. They went in 25, didn't they?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. It's a bell organ, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on a carillon.
Yeah. I played one of those a couple of times, and they're
Well, we can
fascinating.
have a play when we go.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, thank you. You hear that, ladies and gents?
The organ was donated by Dame Clara Butt.
Right. Oh, she's mentioned outside on.
Yeah.
I saw her name. Yeah, she's Dame of the British Empire, isn't she?
Yeah.
She'll feature in my video. I found a picture of her on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So, oh, brilliant. And the organ that's up there. It's stunning, isn't it? There's more of it up there. Are these lights original to the building, are they?
They are.
They are. Look at those, aren't they lovely?
They're on a winch, so when we have to do anything, we have to go up into the loft space,
Yeah.
winch them down,
Oh, wow, that's fascinating.
and change the
Yeah,
lamps.
like the old candelabra lanterns, really. That
Yeah.
a lot of, yeah.
I mean, I think they were originally gaslight. Now they're obviously LED.
Yeah.
Been rewired that way, but
Yeah.
the old building was gaslit.
It was. Oh, right. That's interesting. For early 20th century, that is interesting. Right.
If you look just below that old speaker bracket,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
one
look.
of the old gas lights.
Look. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Brilliant. Oh, thanks for pointing that out for me. There you see, ladies and gents, like an old gas light. We've only seen one of those so far in a London church, and I've visited over 100 of them so far. I've got a page on YouTube, but this one's kind of a family interest as well, because families used to come to this one when it first opened.
Well, this curtain wall was put in 1970.
Right.
Before that, it was complete. This was all completely open.
Oh, right.
The main where the glass and the planters are outside, they were the main doors.
Oh, I noticed that because I saw a picture of it the other day from 1928, and the doors. I saw that there. Yeah.
On a Sunday, there'd be 2,000. And on a Monday, 2,000 plus.
That's amazing.
The ladies gathering.
That's amazing. How many do you get nowadays, if you don't mind me asking?
At the moment, our numbers are swell because we're sharing with another church called the Customised Baptist Church.
Oh, I know that one. I've
They're
been
having
past that.
their premises renovated.
Right.
So, in church, without them, we get around 40 to 50.
And that's pretty good numbers for today still.
And on
isn't it?
Zoom, probably about 30.
Yeah, because a lot of them. Oh, you do Zoom as well. You hear that, ladies and gents? You can watch service on Zoom. So
Yeah.
perfect. Right.
That piano.
Yeah.
I think we're not sure, but it was donated by Hilda Swift,
Oh, right.
and Hilda Swift got the Swift Centre built next door in 1935, and that's what is the name of that? It's a Beckstein.
Beckstein. Wow, one
Yeah.
of the very best you can get. Yeah.
So we've had it restored inside, and we've got a French polisher coming next weekend to.
Oh, lovely. That will look beautiful once it's done, won't it? Yeah.
Definitely.
That's nice. Little pieces of history. It's nice to see them being looked after and cared for, especially a musical instrument to be played as well. I mean, nice, lovely. God, this place really does have an amazing history, doesn't it?
Underneath the big rug, that's the baptistry.
Oh, right.
So, and it's quite a size.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, it's like a great big baptismal font.
So
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
steps coming in and steps going out.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
Cool.
yeah, that's this.
Yeah.
Actually got dunked in there not long ago.
Oh, right. Brilliant. Thank you. picture of that. The sanctuary. Thank you. This place is vast, isn't it? It really is big.
Yeah, it's bigger than you think.
Yeah.
This is the fitness part.
Well, I'll probably wheeze a bit, but other than that, I'm generally okay.
Right, so this tower is used. It's the tower gallery,
Right.
and we have different exhibitions from local artists.
Oh, I've seen people coming in and out with paintings
Yeah.
and things. I wondered about that.
This one is by a church member
Right.
called Eve Price, and she's obviously into textiles.
Yeah.
And these are
Some of
the
our
ones throughout the years.
Lovely. So this is what I mean. What I always say about churches, it isn't just a religious institution. There's normally so much connected with them as well, like charities, things like this. It's interesting. Oh look, that's nice. My nan had stuff like that. She used to like things like that. Oh look, that looks like the an interpretation of the bio tapestry, like that one. We're going all the way up there, and we will be able to see and play the bell organ, so that's a real treat. Thanks for taking me round, Daniel. I really appreciate this.
This is the start of the
Wow, look.
information and bells.
25. That's better. No glare in that one. Pause to read any of the descriptions, ladies and gents, but there will be photos hitting the page, of course. The Fallen. Oh, well, you get a pretty good view from here as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Right over to Spillers at the docks. That's another building I want to try and get into, but it's not an easy access one. I'll have to wait for an open day for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Ah, brilliant. Yeah, this is what I was asked to look out for with the names. Privates. Let's find him. There he is, J. Taylor. James Taylor. Take a picture of that. Okay. Thank you. Cheers.
yeah, I was considering it.
That's amazing, yeah. Well, they're coming up to some years old now, 98 years old, aren't they? Oh wow, this is impressive. I mean, that's amazing. Well, my friend, look, your ancestors still well remembered up there. So. I never thought would be allowed in to see this one because it's hard to get bell tower permission visits because of the health and safety aspect. Of all the churches I've done, I've only ever had 3. St Bartholomew's the less, you know, the hospital church.
Yeah.
It's attached to the hospital. They've got a bell organ, but it's only 3 bells, and they're 3 of the oldest bells in London.
Wow.
So yeah, I was really privileged to play that.
Yeah, definitely.
When I was a kid, I had a telescope. I lived over in Liddon Road, and I used to look at this tower. It was absolutely full of pigeons.
Yeah.
So I can imagine it was full of
Pigeon
pigeon mark, yeah, when it was done. To the Unknown Warrior. Oh, this is brilliant. I'll cover these if you don't mind, if that's okay. Put them in freeze. There he is, J. Taylor. That's that. Right. I'll pause you for a sec because I've got to put some earmuffs on, ladies and gents, alright? Well, that was enjoyable, wasn't it, ladies and gents? There we go. Oh, thanks very much. Cheers. And it wasn't too bad a climb. The worst one I've done is the monument in London. Or St Paul's, to the top of St Paul's. That's bad, that one. They've got like stone benches on the way that were put there even back in the day when it was built, so I thought, yeah, you definitely need those. Sir Christopher Wren was no fool. Oh, these are nice as well. I like all the old signage and the doors. It's so original, isn't it? It really is nice.
We haven't found out who Olga Furl is.
Oh, right. You try and look that one up. Sometimes it's really difficult. I hate that when you can't find someone.
Yeah. Sometimes Google don't have all
No,
the
it doesn't.
answers.
No, it does not at all. And sometimes it has the wrong answers.
At one time, this was the largest span ceiling.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That really is amazing. Let's get a long shot view of that. That's perfect. Very impressive. Ah, brilliant. Thank you. Clara, about the lady that we saw outside on the foundation stone. She donated this, so this organ will be 100 years old soon. And it's, did you say it's under the process of being restored?
Well, yeah, we've got grant applications going in.
So, ladies and gents, if you want to hear this one up in action again, maybe pop a donation to the church online. I'll put the details in the description box on the pulpit. Very impressive. And under there is the baptismal bath, like the great font, because adult baptisms, it's full submersion, you see. Right. Oh, ladies and gents, I hope you all enjoyed this one as much as I did. Massive thanks to Daniel for showing us around, and catch me all on the next one. And lastly, I wanted to end us off with a commemoration to all the brave men that lost their lives in the First World War, many of which the names we saw on the walls outside. And these men were mentioned on these bells, and thank you to Linda Stock for actually telling me about these bells, because I didn't know about this. So many men are mentioned on them, including Linda's great uncle, Joshua Farden, who I've marked off with a blue arrow here. He joined up when he was only 15. So what a brave young man, eh? we owe that generation a very, very great deal. So a remembrance to Joshua Farden. And when I said to Church Rob from Barking that I was going to be going here, he went, "Didn't you know about those bells?" I went, "No, I didn't know about them at all." He went, "Oh, my great-great-uncle's mentioned on one of those." So a remembrance to James Taylor. And James was only 22 when he lost his life at the Somme. So a remembrance to all of these brave heroes.